and Nushrat, how are the two of you doing?
Doing very well
Doing
yourself.
well, thank you.
Are you both staying safe, staying indoors? There's a second wave of COVID that's hit B Town. So both of you staying indoors?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep, very much.
Super. Good to know. But I don't think the two of you played safe from the film that I've seen, Khilona. I think I have to say, without giving any spoilers, it is so deliciously dark. I think this is one of the darkest
Ah.
offerings of from Hindi cinema in the last few years at least. And Raj, tell me a Dharma film that is so dark. I know Dharma is veered away from its typical, sweet parivaric image, but this is really a big leap, I think.
No, it is, and that's what actually what I found interesting about the story itself. When I actually got the story, Sumit is the writer of the film, sent it to me, and that's what I liked about it the most, man. I mean, I was working, you won't believe it. I was working on Good News at the time. The film was releasing, and I was working on the post of that. And then I read it, which is a complete contrast to the film, and I was like, dude, we have to do it. And the advantage, thankfully, is that because it's OTT, you can go a bit all out. There are, like you can sometimes portray emotions and things that you can't in a commercial setup, so to say. So yeah, man. I mean, I'm really really excited about this film coming out April 16th, and this is something that I've really enjoyed working on.
Well, Nushrat, you are a Dharma heroine now, but what a sea change and a departure from the typical Dharma heroine. So I'm sure you would have been excited to join Dharma, but is this the kind of role that you thought you would do with them?
No, actually, when they actually sent me the script of the film first, they said if you like it, then we'll chat on it further. I read it and I really couldn't believe that this is what they were making. But I said, okay. I mean, let's see. I think it's quite interesting when they work out of their zone, so to say. And when Bhoot came out, I remember Dharma had this new thing going dark. And then this film happened. So I was like, they're really going dark. Like, this is quite cool. I quite liked it. And then I met this person right sitting here, Mr. Raj Mehta, and he was a completely different shade altogether. So I was like, what's happening? This is not what I expected. But a lot of fun, yeah. I feel like I'm somebody who wants to do different things. I love these kind of spaces where you can't define normal, because I am not normal. So I love this space, but nobody does that. And there are very few, I knew you'd react to that. So there are very few chances we get as actors to kind of do this. I'm just glad that he thought of me, which is, I think, really, again, out of the box, because why would you think of me? Like, I've been only doing commercial films. People have forgotten that I did LSD years back. So I was quite happy that they came to me with it. And I said, let's do it. We'll have fun.
Yeah, why did you cast Nushrat for it, Raj?
Good job.
Why did you cast Nushrat for this?
Raj,
You
this
should not
question
gather
was
it down.
almost cued in. I actually cued in this question. Let me just tell you, it was a setup. So now please answer that.
No, so I think you know what it is. I just honestly think she fit the part really well. I know that she's done a lot of commercial stuff so far. Like she rightly just said that LSD was a while back, and she's had a bunch of hit commercial releases after that. But I just feel, I don't know, man. It's a gut thing. Yeah, you work with your gut. I've never seen her in. I don't think you've done anything like this in the recent past, right? I mean, for years at least, anyway. But I think,
for years.
yeah, and this is just gonna come back to bite me in the ass. But I think she's a fantastic actor. I know she's gonna tease me for a year, but I mean, it's just praising her in front of her sometimes a little distinct. But I think she's an excellent actor.
Can you see how I went into like a dance?
Yeah. And
Sorry, Raj, continue.
and I knew she could absolutely pull it off. I mean, we honestly speaking, when we were looking to cast this part, we had a couple of other options as well. But when I met Nushrat, I mean, she was definitely the top of the list. When I met her and we had a discussion about the script and the kind of input she came up with from the first meeting we had, I was like, we should. It was a bit of a no-brainer.
For me, what sealed it was how well she did the katka. Right when I saw her.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
She's been during her struggling days before she became an actress. But I swear when I saw, so I'm telling you, this is the dedication. Like again praise, but bro, I swear to God, when we were prepping for the film and we'd done one or two readings. Suddenly one day, and I didn't ask her to do this. Suddenly one day, I get a random video in the evening on my phone of her doing katka at her house, like doing that, pocha proper bed with a balti and all of that, and saying a word in an accent that, what was the word, bro? Bangan. She kept saying
Bangan. Because I couldn't say bangan right. So he said, what are you saying? I was like, bangan? He's like, that's not how you say it. So
how do you speak bangan?
I see
you're saying it correctly.
Shilpa said
Bangan.
Bangan. You're saying it correctly actually, because Bombay, it becomes, I don't know, there's a certain way of saying it. It's either bangan or I don't know. You're saying it very
they say bangan. They say bangan.
I don't know. Is very good.
So the film is clearly, but the film is based in Lucknow, and the lingo up north is very like each matra is pronounced very it's like bangan, it's like that. So, ma'am, this huge commercial actress sent me a video of doing pocha at home saying bangan on you.
This is the prep
creepy, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was a little like I saw it and I was like, but
beyond, it's just sending someone bangan. What does that mean? It's like sending.
It's creepy, bro. It's creepy. It's actually slightly creepier than the script we were working on. But
and Shilpa, guess what he does then? What is this outstanding director who I've trusted with this video does? He sends that video to Karan sir. And I'm like, why would you send it to Karan sir? He doesn't. I don't want to see it in Pocha.
Dedication. That's dedication.
I was like, that's it. Yeah. End of being Dharma heroine right there.
So dedicated actor, not only talented but also very dedicated, man.
Speaking of talented actors, I'm missing Inayat today on the table. Yeah. Last time I spoke to her, she told me she wanted to play a witch, So she, as I spoke to her, she said her dream is to be a witch.
She's capable of saying that.
Yeah, in Hollywood. And she is just a bundle of energy. You don't know what she's going to say next. She's so intelligent. How is it working with like a really intelligent child on sets? Because you can't infantilize them. You have to treat them, with respect. So how do you direct someone like that, Raj?
Shilpa, very honestly speaking, with the cast I had, Inayat for sure, but even everyone else, I think when you have a cast like that, your job becomes very easy. I honestly, with Inayat, of course, I did sit and read the script with her a few times. Her parents were involved and they came in. But that girl is just magic, man. Like, I honestly didn't have to do too much with her. Once she understood the character, once she understood the story, and where each scene fell in the overall narrative, she kind of played it along. And I honestly, Nushrat would vouch for this. She was there and said, we didn't do much with her at all. She has this, I don't know. It's just, she has this understanding, which a lot of our, some of the best actors also don't have. I think it just comes from a place of innocence. I don't think she's pretending or has any preconceived notions about the character or that. She's on and off. She's a kid, and then the camera turns on, and she's become Binny instantly. So I honestly didn't have to do much with her, to be honest with you.
Nushrat, I love
I agree.
Inayat on screen. That was such an interesting bond because again, it wasn't like you were mollycoddling her or something on screen. It was a very friendly bond that the two of you had, and I think you must have had an off-screen equation as well for it to translate so well.
No, Shilpa, when you talk to kids, you need to kind of somewhere speak in their language for them to understand it, right? You need to make it a sort of fairy tale or make it a simpler story for them to understand it. But with Inayat, I didn't need to simplify anything. It was almost like I spoke normally and she just understood it. And I'm like, oh, I'm completely forgetting you're like a child because she got it. She just got it. She knew exactly what I was saying. She knew exactly what was happening behind the camera. She knew more on a set at that point than I would probably know because I was too preoccupied with my own thing, but she would know where the camera is, where Raj is sitting, where the ADs are coming in, what they're saying. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how are you like this?
Very aware, yeah. Unbelievably aware.
Yeah. Very aware. Very aware. I remember there was this one incident that happened where I think one of the chief ADs said something to her and she got very affected. And I saw, because she was sitting in front of me, and I saw that, okay, now the child in her has suddenly got a little, this thing that how did they speak to me like this? But it was not, nobody did anything. It was just like a helter-skelter shoot. Mm-hmm. I remember after that shot got over, I looked at her and I said, "Aapko pata hai na, Didi aise aapko nahi bol rahi thi, wo बाकी चीजें." She's saying, हाँ वो बहुत stress चल रहा है ना काम पे, मुझको पता है वो मेरे लिए नहीं था, वो ऐसे ही बोल दिया उन्होंने. Before I could even finish it, she said it, and I'm like, "Why, yaar, ladki, outstanding hai tu."
It's too cute.
That's smart.
But Raj, it's such a dark story, and you have a child in your anthology, especially in today's scenario. With some OTTs or like with some shows as well, just by virtue of having a child in a risque story, there are some notices sent. There's some cognizance being taken care of. Are you prepared for all of that? That could happen.
I mean, fingers crossed it doesn't. But if it does, but listen, I mean, I just feel this is a story that I think uh, I was really excited to face. And the fact that the protagonists of the story happen to be two sisters who are just trying to survive, and I think and they're doing all they can to navigate their way through this, mean world, so to say, the big bad, male-dominated sort of society that they are a part of also. And she just happens to be one of the characters in it. I understand what you're saying about the fact that there can be a bit of a risk involved, but I think I personally tried to maintain that balance where you do tell the story, but try and not offend anyone in any way or affect any sensibilities in that sense. But I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. Fingers crossed. I hope nothing. No one gets.
I hope it doesn't happen too, because
Yeah,
I think this is really pushing the envelope. So dark and so delicious. I hope you make more films like these, Raj.
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you so much.
And Nushrat, what about you? Would you want to explore more cinema like this? Do you just want, or like back to mainstream?
No, 100%. I honestly love this work. I like the human psyche. I like knowing why people do what they do in extreme situations. I'm sure if a situation was normal, people would not tend to react like that and would not resort to those kind of behaviors. But that's what I love about it. We're humans. We're flawed and we're perfect at the same time. So I love exploring that entire bandwidth, and there is so much to do that there is no way I'm restricting myself. I mean, bring it on. I'm right here. Whatever you want to cast me in.
But Shilpa, I love it.
Yeah.
Deliciously dark is beautiful. I love that.
Is the word,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
damn good
then
word.
mutual admiration, because I really like your film as well. Thank you, Raj. It was a pleasure talking to the two of you. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.